most quickly, cost effectively, and humanely help those suffering from homelessness move off the streets by helping them find a bright, immediate, and ideally a permanent pathway off the streets. And just a few of the facts that guide our work and our approach every day are as follows. There's easily over 5,700 individuals that sleep on the streets every single night throughout the county, and frankly, that's probably a low count. About 50% of the chronically homeless population suffered from homelessness as a youth. Older adults, meaning those that are 55 and up, are the largest and the fastest growing segment of the unsheltered homeless population, and just about half are falling onto the streets for the very first time in their life. Some entities are spending $600,000 and $700,000 and more per unit, aka per bed, which also takes years, if not decades, to bring online to address this issue. And for every 10 people who seek a shelter bed, which by the way come online much more quickly and cost effectively than those housing units, for every 10 people who seek a shelter bed, only one is placed, because shelters are full and demand requires such. So all that to say, a deliberative regional approach that's based on urgency and cost effectiveness is critically needed to add immediately available beds and pathways off the streets. A few years ago, Donnie and I were meeting and he showed me a graphic of his early thinking or approach on how the rescue mission could deliberately and urgently and regionally address this issue. So that's a compelling graphic and vision. Why don't you come in and talk to our group and explain what you're thinking? That quickly turned into $1 million commitment from Lucky Duck to activate additional shelter beds across the county, including this shelter behind me here. And our group remains laser focused on helping people move off the streets as quickly as possible. And you know, the folks that are focused on housing, that's great. Again, it's very costly and it's very long term. Our group has a belief that nobody fights an active wildfire by planting more trees. You have to get the issue under control quickly. And there's a tragic wildfire of people suffering on the streets across the county. So all that to say, to address this today, we're announcing a new partnership between the Lucky Duck Foundation and the San Diego Rescue Mission and the City of Vista, where Lucky Duck Foundation will provide $10,000 for every new and incremental shelter bed the Rescue Mission activates between now and June 30th of 2026, up to $1.5 million. Additionally, this will include the expansion of the Lucky Duck Foundation's Cash for Trash program, which pays homeless individuals $2 for every bag of trash that they clean up from encampments and city streets. And this program has removed already 225 tons of trash from downtown San Diego. So why now? Why this approach? Why the rescue mission? There's several reasons. I'll give you a few of them. First, we've prioritized youth, we've prioritized seniors, two highly vulnerable segments of the population that can and want to be helped. And the rescue mission serves a large number of youth and seniors. Nearly 30% of seniors are served through their various shelters and programs, and then depending on the location of the program, 15 to 20% of the folks they serve are youth. Secondly, they refuse to operate at the speed of government, and they operate with a great sense of urgency. It's a very practical, it's a very cost-effective approach, but most importantly, it puts the individual first to help that individual find a bright and immediate pathway, and ideally a permanent pathway off the streets. And case in point is, look at this shelter behind me, and members of the media, if you have not been inside, I highly encourage you to go and check it out. As the late Peter Seidler would say, it is best in class, and that's exactly what the rescue mission is. So, $1.5 million, I might be able to help 2, maybe 3 people in total with new housing many years, if not decades, down the road. But with this approach, as many as 150 people will be able to be helped at one time, and many, many more over time. So we're honored to partner with the Rescue Mission. We're honored to accelerate our collective vision to approach this issue with a great sense of urgency, a very cost-effective, humane, practical approach to stand up more immediately available beds throughout San Diego County. So again, we're excited to launch this thing and link arms with Donnie D and his great team from the rescue mission to meaningfully expand shelter capacity across the county. So with that, I'll welcome Donnie D.
I want to thank Drew from the Lucky Duck Foundation. I want to thank Mayor Franklin from the City of Vista, and I want to thank you all for being here. I think today is an exciting day. It's an exciting day for the San Diego Rescue Mission. It's certainly an exciting day for Lucky Duck and for the City of Vista because we are talking about a new partnership. We say all the time at the San Diego Rescue Mission that homelessness is not a government problem to fix. We don't think they can fix this. It's a community issue to address. And what you're seeing today is a partnership. Lucky Duck has done so much for so many organizations, and their commitment to us and the work we do is an incredible blessing. And this new commitment, as we expand our shelters from Oceanside to Vista, and as we open up a new shelter sometime in 2026, we hope, in East County, will be the way that we'll move people from experiencing homelessness to into a 30-day shelter like the one you see behind me, to where they need to go next to take a positive step forward and out of homelessness. Homelessness is a complicated issue. It's not just addiction. Most San Diegans would say that. It's not just housing. Most people in government would say that. We know at the San Diego Rescue Mission, and this is a shared belief with Vista and it's a shared belief with Lucky Duck, that it's a heart issue, H-E-A-R-T. And if we can begin to address the issues of the heart, we can actually change the state of homelessness in San Diego. Homelessness is not just about addiction. It's not just about lack of affordable housing or the cost of living or the decriminalization of drug use. Those are all factors that we have to talk about, and those are all factors that have to be considered. We think that homelessness first starts with, let's have a conversation about what's going on in your heart. How did you end up homelessness? What was the trauma that you experienced? And we do that in facilities like the one that you see behind you. We will open up one just like this in North County, in Vista. We'll begin to look at buildings this week and hopefully have that online in the next 6 to 9 months. And we'll open up one in East County, hopefully sometime in the next year as well. And these 3 remote sites that we call lighthouses is how we will get people off the streets immediately. We think that by doing outreach and asking them when we're doing outreach to go get a license and to get signed up for health care and to go get in line for housing, although those are the appropriate next steps, they're not doing that while they're sleeping under a bridge or sleeping on a sidewalk. So our focus, and these 3 organizations are in agreement, is let's get you inside. Let's get you inside to a facility that is absolutely spectacular, that you feel hopeful when you walk through the front door. And the one requirement for you when you come to our facility is you have to be case managed. And it'll be through that case management that we help you figure out where you go next. We think that's the solution. The principle is this: when people start feeling like people again, they start acting like people again. The other principle is we're not going to use broken things to heal broken people. And so as you walk through this facility, you're going to see first class. We spared no expense. That's why it's such a blessing to have the Lucky Duck with their resources to invest in the San Diego Rescue Mission in this way. This building behind us wouldn't be possible if it wasn't for Lucky Duck and all of our private donors that made this possible. And now to have a city like Mayor Franklin that's willing to give us a 5-0 vote 2 weeks ago to allow us to operate their shelter is really an incredible blessing. And the agreement is this: Vista, you give us a building that meets our specs, that is first class, and people feel hopeful when they walk in here. And we will, with our donors, Lucky Duck and all of our private donors, we will pay 100% of the cost to operate. That's the agreement. And so today what you're seeing more than anything else is a breaking down of the silos that exist, because there's a lot of silos in how we address this issue of homelessness. And today you're seeing 3 big organizations that are joining together on behalf of the person experiencing homelessness. Mayor Franklin is a good friend. Of all the mayors that I've gotten to know, his city has a vision. They have staff dedicated on their team that address homelessness every day. They have a strategic plan around homelessness. They've been working this strategic plan the last couple of years, and now it's time for them to get a shelter, and they voted for us 5-0 to operate their shelter when that thing comes online. So I want you to help me welcome the mayor of Vista, John Franklin.
Donnie, thank you very much. Drew, thank you to all of the people, the rescue mission, all the people who invest in it, all of those who have participated. Thank you, because we're not just here today to talk about a building. We're here to talk about the people that make Navigation Center. Some, in the past, we've called them shelters. Why do we call it a Navigation Center? Because it's a place to come and navigate your way to permanent housing. It's a place to navigate your way to a permanent end to homelessness. and it's about the philosophy of the people who operate it. The rescue mission is the right partner. We brought them into the City of Vista about a year ago to begin doing our outreach to the homeless, and they have had tremendous results. We have had a near complete turnaround in what we call the service-resistant population. That's people who, when we ask them if they'll accept our help, come to the shelter, they've said no. We've seen a reversal of that. With the right hand, we've offered everything that a person could need to be healed from homelessness, to accept a hand up, and we have made that meaningful promise that a shelter bed will be available. We need more beds to keep that promise. We've paired that promise to provide services with the left hand. We provided accountability, law enforcement. Our residents deserve a clean and safe neighborhood. We're not ashamed to say that. But to do that, we need to prove to the entire community the sincerity of our heart to provide services to get every single person off of our streets, because no one should live on our streets and no one should die on our streets. And way too many people are dying on the streets of San Diego County each and every year. I'm so proud. We've had tremendous numbers. I want to share a couple of them with you. Just since we began in November of 2024, 134 people have accepted shelter. 22 have secured permanent housing through the rescue mission's work. Many more have secured permanent housing through the work of our temporary navigation center. Our commitment is, when that navigation center pilot project comes to an end, we will be cutting the ribbon with the rescue mission on a new permanent lighthouse in the City of Vista to provide permanent shelter, a permanent shelter opportunity and a pathway to permanent housing for the people of our city. Donnie and the Rescue Mission and Drew Lucky Duck Foundation, thank you so much for the investment and the partnership with the City of Vista. To have the Rescue Mission step up and say that they're going to provide the funding through their investors to finance the operation of a navigation center in our city is tremendous. The government cannot solve this problem alone. This partnership is about a partnership between the private community and the government to solve a huge problem, which we can solve together, as Donnie said, when we start with addressing the issues of the heart. Thank you, all of you, for being here today and for the partnership.